Bodenhammer, RN coordinator for the Reppel Diabetes Learning Center. This is Jan Hallagan, my registered dietitian, and we're live here at the Baxter County Health Fair and Senior Expo. And today we're going to be doing some cooking demonstrations, filming here, and we're going to start off this morning with a low-fat blueberry almond coffee cake. And Jan, why don't you tell us what kind of ingredients are going to be in that coffee cake?
All right, these ingredients are heart healthy, also very appropriate for a person with diabetes that wants to watch the carbs and the fats. This recipe uses half and half, but this is fat-free half and half. So you don't have to worry about those saturated fats clogging the arteries. Instead of butter, we are using, I can't believe it's not butter, so instead of being loaded with saturated fats, it's got the polyunsaturated fats, our neutral fats, and it's got the monounsaturated fats, the heart-healthy fats. Very good for us. It calls for an egg in this recipe. We are using egg beaters, so it has none of the saturated fat in it, and it is lower in calories. This recipe also calls for nuts. Almonds are a heart-healthy fat, very good for us. Instead of regular sugar, we are using Splenda sweetener, and this has no carbs in it to speak of. And we're also using the Splenda brown sugar blend, half regular brown sugar and half Splenda. And that's about, and we are using blueberries. And the deep and dark colored fruits and vegetables are really good for all of us. They help prevent a number of diseases. So we've got blueberries too. These were frozen and I'll have to drain them later because we don't want the water dripping into our coffee cake. And let's go ahead and Jodie, you want to use our handy dandy strainer and drain our blueberries.
I will do
and
that.
I will start here.
Oh, get that good smell going. You know,
I
when
will.
You start with the cinnamon and you start mixing in some of the half and half and the butter spread there. The smell out here is you're going to see people coming up to the table because they're going to be wondering what we're doing over here.
Yep, that's always good. All right, we're going to start today with 1/3 of a cup of the whipped tub margarine, and this does have some butter in it. And I don't quite have it all mashed in the cup, but this is approximately 1/3 of a cup. This will be melted. This will only take us a couple of minutes to melt. If you've got a microwave, you can use the microwave at home to melt your tub butter margarine blend. Okay, so we start out melting this. We'll be adding in, see how quickly that's smoking up there? And in case you're wondering, this is an induction cooktop that we're using, and it heats up immediately, and as soon as we turn it off, it cools down immediately, so you don't have to worry about stuff burning.
You're just flooding this whole building with all this good smelling stuff.
Yep.
That's what we hope for. We're going to be finishing up a coffee cake, and in just a little bit, we're going to have some taste testing for everybody. So we'll have some samples for you, okay?
Okay, so this is already melting. It's only been about 2 minutes, and it's just about totally melted. Then we'll go ahead and add 2/3 of a cup of the fat-free half and half. And 1/4 of a cup of our egg beaters.
You want to measure with that one?
No.
Okay. Got your 1/4 cup down there? Oh, look at you. Miss
Okay.
Jen's always ready.
I was a scout leader. Be prepared.
That's right.
Okay. So we mix all of this in. Turn the induction cooktop off. Mix it together. And add in our vanilla. And this only takes 1 1/4 teaspoons of vanilla. While I'm doing this, Jodie is going to go ahead and use spray on our pans.
Right.
Back in the dark ages when I was young, we used to use shortening and then we'd flour the pan. Now we have these sprays that do the whole job for us.
Well, and I love this too because we've got no fat in this. We've got no added carbs. We've got nothing in there that's going to add to our recipe. And we've still got that good non-stick on the pan that way.
That is correct. Works like a charm. And it's really inexpensive too. Next we put in a cup of our flour. Just plain old white flour. And I go ahead and I just use the generic kind. It doesn't have to be anything special. Okay, we add in our flour. And we add in our baking soda and baking powder. And we use both of them because with the Splenda or any sweetener, you have to encourage the baked goods to rise a little bit more than when you use regular sugar.
Do you find that when you're doing the baking soda, you add a little bit more of one or the other with the Splenda?
Either one can
Either
go
one?
for
Okay.
it.
Hey guys,
Hi.
we're cooking up some stuff, so come on back in a few minutes and we're gonna have some samples for you, okay?
Right.
Yeah. People are just coming in and checking us out up here. We're creating quite a skeptical up here with you with all of your cooking goods, Miss Jan.
Well, I'd like to think it's me, but in reality, what it is the smell of this
The
food.
food, that's right.
These are tried and true recipes, and our people know that. And our sucralose, our Splenda, a third of a cup of that. And with the sweeteners, you use a lot less than what you would use if you were using regular sugar, because our sweeteners are much sweeter in flavor than regular sugar.
Right. This recipe has been modified by yours truly, of course. But when we're looking at a regular recipe, would you say you'd use about half of the sweetener it calls for if it called for sugar?
I use somewhere between a third and a half.
Okay.
It's going to depend on the person who's going to eat it,
Sure.
how they perceive the sweetener. If they perceive it as really sweet like I do, then I use about a third of the amount of sugar called for.
Okay.
Now, I added in a little bit more flour because it was a little bit thin looking and we want to make it look like just about the consistency of a cake or coffee.
Like a
cup.
cake batter almost,
Yep.
right? Okay.
Oh,
And then, did
righty.
you add the cinnamon in yet? I didn't see that
No,
yet.
no, that's for the topping.
That's for the topping. Okay.
Okay, now we are ready to blend in the blueberries.
Okay. Perfect. Gotcha. I love our little portable colander we've got going on here. It works just perfectly.
Yes, we'll be using that for another recipe a little bit later. Okay, and then if you would pour this into the pan.
Let's take a look at this at home so everybody can see that consistency too.
Yes,
Just beautiful. So we're going to go right in the pan with that.
right in the pan with
Okay.
that.
Great.
And then we're going to go ahead and prepare the topping
Okay.
because we like a topping, a little extra sweetness. And this is going to call for,
Now, are you going to need this pan again? Should
Not
I
right
run?
now.
Should I run it out and wash, or are we okay?
that can be washed, and so can that little bowl.
Right, but what I'm asking you is, you're going to need it now, or are you going to need it later?
Later.
Okay, then I'll just stay here with you.
That's the done.
This
We're
is
done
the
with the
done pile.
That's
Okay,
the
I'm
done
just going to
pile.
spread this around. Hey, folks.
Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and stir 1/3 cup of sliced almonds.
Okay.
And you don't want big almond halves because that gets a little bit too crunchy.
Okay.
Nice little sliced almonds work very
I'm
well.
going to move this out of your way
Yeah,
so that we
we're
can
done
see
with that.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
And we add in a little bit of almond extract.
Uh-huh.
And that's going to be about 1/4 teaspoon. You don't want too much of this, otherwise it's going to be too strong tasting. And this, with the almond extract, I do measure. A lot of other things I don't have to, but the almond you do. And then we put in the Splenda brown sugar, 2
Okay.
tablespoons of that. Is our oven preheated?
Our oven is preheated. Yes, ma'am.
350?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, thank you. All
We're
right,
going to
I'll
bake
use
this
it.
off over here in our little portable oven that we've got. And I've got it up and hot and ready. And we're going to bake this off for about 35 minutes. So you could get up, you could start the coffee, you could have this thrown together in a few minutes, throw it on in the oven, and by the time the coffee's done and you're ready for breakfast, you've got a nice, healthy option there. It's
Yes,
good for
you do.
when you've got visitors and family and company over as well, because it makes a nice size loaf here.
Yes, it does. We only
Put
use...
that lid on the right thing.
I'll try. 3/4 teaspoon of the cinnamon.
Okay.
And that is the closest I know to perfume that we can get.
I smell that cinnamon already.
Yep. We mix this together.
And you're just making this this is our crumble for the top of the cake, right?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. We're just cooking away here. We've got the cake ready. Miss Jen's making the topping, and we're going to be giving away some samples in just a few minutes. Okay.
We're filming it live right now.
Now, if you wanted to make this more decorative, you could go ahead and save some of your blueberries to sprinkle over the topping too, but I like them running in the cake.
Okay. We're cooking up some blueberry coffee cake right here, and we're filming it for the Mountain Home Television. So this is Anthony Reed. He's a director of rehab services at the hospital. And every time we cook, here he comes trying to get us a taste test. Yeah, every time.
All right.
We
now,
love it.
This is what we're ready to put in the oven. And by the magic, I'll put this
Jan,
in the
you
oven.
go put the one in the oven, and we'll bring the other one around. That's okay. We love it. We're making some blueberry almond coffee cake, low fat.
Okay,
Yes.
and this is the one that I made up earlier today. And here it is. And you'll see it rose up nicely. And you also see from the bottom of the pan the blueberries are in there.
Yes.
And it smells heavenly. So,
You
normally...
want to slice some up, Jan?
Sure.
Okay.
Normally we would cut this into 9 pieces. They're hearty pieces, and each of those pieces only counts 1 carb choice, 19 grams of carbohydrates, and 1 fat choice, 5 grams of fat.
All right, perfect.
So now we're ready to serve.
We're getting a crowd gathered here. We're going to have to get our plates out and get ready.
Unfortunately, our people who are visiting and taste testing are not going to get a 1/9 of the cake.
We'll give them a little taste, though.
Yes, so that they'll be ready to make it at
Yes.
home.
I've got some good-looking ladies here. They're waiting very patiently. And they're starving, they said. So we'll see. This is going to be the true test of whether, you know, we've done a good job here. And I've had this, so I can tell you, you're going to love it.
Always good, low fat.
Low fat and low carbs, both.
Do we need a fork for these, Jan?
We may be able to use, yeah, they're going to probably need
A little fork to taste with?
Yep.
Okay. All right, let's see. Where did our forks go?
I don't know.
I'll find them. Oh, here we go. Perfect. No, ma'am, we baked it.
This oven also bakes and microwaves. It does everything. All right, these are just little pieces to try to see if it's worthwhile to make it at home. And you see it's a very pretty coffee cake. It's a little bit, it tastes rich, but it's not. All right, if you ladies would give a try to this
All right.
and
there
let
you
me
go.
know what you think.
I'm going to have this piece right here. Hee hee.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Oh, and it's nice and warm, too.
Yeah, we warmed it up. Because when you've got cinnamon in there and blueberries, you want them slightly warm.
Oh, we're getting the thumbs up from the back over here.
All right, keep in mind, it is healthy for you. It
Good
tastes
stuff.
sinful, but it's not.
That's right. Delicious, Jan. Thank you so much.
Thank you all for trying this.
All good.
Now, if I was at home, I'd use my flipper to pick this out. I'm a little bit messy with this, but we will survive it.
Oh, we got it.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
All right, we're doing taste test today of the blueberry almond coffee cake.
We'll just move this around from
Okay.
the...
I'm gonna give one to my mother.
Go ahead, take another.
Right over.
There we go. And there we go. Perfect.
And there's the recipe for that.
There we go.
Low fat, appropriate for people who should be following a low fat diet and for those that have diabetes. And you will notice that I do not add salt to the recipe. Many baked goods call for like a half teaspoon of salt. It's not necessary.
Just adds extra salt to our diet.
Yep. The taste is there already in the flavor of all the good things that go in this.
Go.
And I have to tell you, if you really,
Nuts, dang it.
yeah, almonds.
No teeth.
Kick the almonds off.
It's on the top, okay.
Yeah, they're on the top. They're not all the way through it.
The almonds? No. Well, that's sad for you. I guess you should got teeth.
And we've got the recipe over here too.
Well,
I hope I'm not in the way here.
over here
I'm just
before.
moving some of these out for everybody.
Yes, ma'am, and thank you again for helping me.
And I just checked our other one that we're baking off over there, and it's smelling just great, looking good.
This was good.
Yes, thank you.
And
Miss
it-
Jan does a really good job for us.
And keep in mind, this is really easy to make. It is no great involved recipe.
We just made it right here while we were standing here.
And if you don't want to buy egg beaters, you can just go ahead and take one and a half egg whites and use it and save the yolks for something else. That way you
I got
don't,
plenty of those at home.
I bet you.
All right, go ahead and put that last little bit on that last plate right there, and we'll be in good shape.
Yep.
So we'll let everybody taste the last little bit of this cake, and then we'll give some more samples of our cake that
more.
we baked off. Go ahead and put it just on one of those
Okay.
plates, yeah. And we'll be done. And I think so far so good. Everybody's enjoying it.
Yes.
And look at that pan. It comes out very nicely too. So
Using that baking spray, you don't have things sticking to the bottom of the pan, so it's really easy to utilize it. It makes for an easy recipe make.
All right. Well, we'll be back in just a little while. We're going to be doing some more cooking live from the Baxter County Health Fair and Senior Expo.
And now I have to do a little taste test myself.
There you go.